good evening, or perhaps even good night. Maybe tucking in the kids. Wherever you're watching, I'm happy that you've joined us. I am T. Shroom, in for the Investing Bros. And today, the FUD is emerging. And it makes sense. It makes sense. You know, I was thinking, as I was looking at today's news, trying to think about how to package it for you all, it occurred to me, what's coming up here in the West, in North America? Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a time where young people and old people, they meet up, right? And they pass on ideas. Maybe grandma, critiques a young one saying, hey, maybe you should chew with your mouth closed, Or maybe a young one passes on, hey, I play Fortnite and I really like it. And then someone slightly older starts to play Fortnite. Now, T-Shroom, you might be asking, why are you talking about Fortnite? Why are you talking about chewing with your mouth closed? Because there are moments in our society where ideas are transferred, right? And Thanksgiving is a time where a lot of folks get orange pilled, frankly. A lot of people hear about Bitcoin for the first time. And like clockwork, on a year where we're moving into a Bitcoin halving, there are absolutely going to be people that hear about Bitcoin for the very first time. Because their nephew, maybe their own kid, has made $5,000, $20,000, $100,000 in the last 5 weeks from crypto. Kind of perks up their ears, right? Well, I'm barely getting 5% in these treasuries, right? Stock market's been doing okay, but how is this kid making so much money? Is he just a genius, or is he getting lucky, or is there something I need to know about, right? So all these this isn't a new phenomenon, right? If you're new to crypto, you may have never have heard of this, but most folks are aware. Thanksgiving is a time where ideas are transferred, right? And so it would make a lot of sense that if I'm a regulator, if I'm Gary Gensler, I want to make sure that it is fresh on the minds of the generation who has all the money, the boomers. I want to make sure that the boomers are well aware that this crypto stuff is a total scam, right? And these crypto exchanges, they're always in court. You never know what's going to happen with crypto. You put your money in that, it's probably going to get confiscated. It's going to get stolen. You don't want to mess with this crypto stuff. So it makes sense that the FUD would come this week, right? As we march towards Thanksgiving, as all of the young people are going to be meeting with the old people, right, and having discussions about the money that they made. Every single year we see it. The boomers take a little bit of money and they invest it into crypto because their young nephew, their young niece, their kids have been making some money. And it's a compelling narrative. It's a compelling case to invest. Well, that FUD is now manifesting itself in the headlines. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I am T. Shroom. Thank you so much for investing in your time in the Investing Bros. I see Army Piper in the chat. He said, hey, Shroom, listening while driving to Houston. Yes. Gotta love it. Army Piper in the chat, doing it huge. Antonio said, what up, bro? Ninja Glock said, what's up, everyone? Ron Wilson said the very same thing. What's up, everyone? Gotta love it. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the stories here. Let's go ahead and jump into this FUD that has manifested itself here as we make our way towards Thanksgiving, as we make our way towards a time where we give thanks. We're going to look at it through the lens of Cynthia Lumens, U.S. Senator here. U.S. Senator slams the SEC over Kraken scrutiny. So U.S. Senator Cynthia Lumens has recently criticized the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, maybe you've heard of it, the SEC, the regulatory approach over Kraken, the San Francisco-based cryptocurrency exchange without clear crypto rules. So Cynthia Lumen also, you kind of say, trying to get a little bit back in the good graces with the crypto community. She's said some things recently in Senate hearings that maybe was less than pro-crypto. So you'll kind of notice that tone here. After all, she is an American politician, and If you can predict anything, it's that American politicians will not deviate from their predictable behavior. But let's continue. The lawsuit claims that Kraken took advantage of trading revenue and significant fees without following security regulation that are made to safeguard investors like you and me. Us vulnerable sheep out on the market, ready to be taken advantage of. We need a big, strong regulator to help keep us safe. Wouldn't you agree? I'm being sarcastic, of course. We don't. We're not weak sheep, right? We are the warriors. We are the heroes, bringing into reality the future of finance that is going to bring freedom to so many around the world, and already has. According to the SEC claims, Kraken's internal controls and policies permitted the exchange to mix $33 billion in client assets with its own, thereby endangering users. However, the crypto exchange has asserted that they intend to fight the SEC's claim in court. We'll hear from the CEO here in just a second. But it's very important to realize that if this is in fact true, if Kraken has been commingling funds to the tune of $33 billion of its clients' assets, that's very problematic, right? That is what FTX was doing, right? They were using their clients' funds to go ahead and place bets on altcoins, very small cap coins, right? And a lot of those did not pan out, and they just lost their clients' money, right? And that's why folks who had money tied up in FTX are not getting 100 cents on the dollar back. They're getting something less than that. So it sucks. Lastly here, U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis has expressed her displeasure over the SEC's security scrutiny of the crypto exchange. But will that be enough? Probably not. According to her, the SEC came after the crypto exchange without explicit cryptocurrency rules. In addition, she highlighted the necessity of precise regulatory jurisdiction as opposed to enforcement efforts that harm consumers unnecessarily. So the SEC is the one harming consumers, according to U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis. Furthermore, the senator has called on Congress to produce precise rules for the SEC on what is a security asset, what is a commodity asset. She then asserted that Cynthia Gillibrand firm tends to support financial innovation in the U.S. states. So I guess that's her own law firm. I'm not really sure. I know Gillibrand is another senator. Anyway, she's pro innovation, financial innovation, coming just short of saying she's pro crypto. So there's a lot to unpack here. But before we unpack, let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving, because you might be saying, T-shirt, what? I thought Kraken already got sued by the SEC. I thought that they had to pay $30 million in settlement fees. Well, you're right. This is from the SEC.gov website. Kraken to discontinue unregistered offer and sale of crypto assets staking as a service program and pay $30 million to settle SEC charges. This is as of February 9th, 2023, the year of our Lord. Okay, this is a big deal, right? Why is the SEC feeling compelled to come after Kraken again? Okay, why? Why? Well, I think it's the timing, guys. I think it's the timing. We haven't taken a look at the Bitcoin charts. This is an appropriate time to do that, because if you take a look at what is going on, Bitcoin's price has been starkly up and to the right with some giant pops, right? Some very big pops. Okay, but now it's been trading in this regression trend, right? And it was able to break out. This thanks to Javier Milei winning the presidential election down in Argentina. Okay, so he's able to break out of that regression trend, has since given back all of those gains, and is now back in the regression trend, even down below the midline of the Bollinger Band on the 4-hour and the midline of that regression trend. But I have that somewhat subjectively drawn. Right, still under a strong buy on the 4-hour with a green trend assist, I will say. I will point out. And I will say, if you've been getting into crypto, well, I've got a pretty obvious conclusion here. So some of the OGs are probably jumping to that conclusion along with me, but I'll wait here for a few moments before I get to that, because I want to put all the pieces of the puzzle together for you. if you are just watching and listening for the first time in the crypto space, you're in the right place and you're here at the right time. Okay. If you have gotten some value from this channel already, from me in this video, go ahead and hit subscribe for me. It means a lot. And obviously hit the like button as well. But we're taking a look here at the charts. The SEC levying a 1-2 punch against crypto, because today we're talking about Kraken, right? That's what the thumbnail's about. Kraken has been sued by the SEC, okay? But it comes just days, just hours really, after the SEC also levied this one, right? It said Binance in talks to pay more than $4 billion to end U.S. criminal case. CZ could face charges, right? This is the SEC as well, along with the DOJ, okay? So the U.S. regulatory establishment knows the timing of crypto, right? They've seen it again and again. And in the year moving into a halving, there is a argument stronger than ever to buy Bitcoin specifically. And you know, a less powerful, but still pretty powerful argument to buy crypto in general, right? And this is a very compelling argument to profit-seeking Americans who have some disposable income, aka boomers, sitting at around the Thanksgiving table listening to how their nephew made 5, 10, 30 grand in just a matter of a few weeks trading or investing in crypto, right? So this is something that the SEC, the DOJ, the powers that be, the safeguarders of the U.S. dollar, they know about this, right? And they don't want this phenomenon to continue because it takes the power away from the United States. So they're firing off their biggest guns, right? They're levying lawsuits against the exchanges, the entities that aren't decentralized, the entities that can't be ignored, right? The entities that can't just ignore the SEC. Bitcoin can very easily ignore the SEC. There's nobody at Bitcoin to pay a fine, right? So the SEC can't really do anything about it. But they can go to the exchanges where these assets are traded and say, hey, yeah, you need to pay up, and we need to make you look bad in the public square. And we need to do that right now. Because right now, a bunch of boomers are about to hear, a bunch of people who have money are about to hear about the gospel of Bitcoin, and they're going to predictably make an action that is counter to our agenda. So they have to do something, or at least they feel they do. And in today, you know, we're reporting that they're coming against Kraken. They're coming against Binance. You know, well, Kraken isn't taking it sitting down. I'd have to say that there has been some pretty good reaction from this man here, from Jesse Powell, the CEO there of Kraken. He said USA's top decelerant, I think is the term there. USA's top decel is back with another assault on America. The masochists haven't been happy with the beating they've been taking in New York and are shopping for a different flavor of reg-dom, regulation dominance. Won't read too much into that one, but you can kind of pick up on the undertones here that Jesse's using, which to me is signaling blatant disrespect to the SEC. It's something we've seen from Elon Musk, and it's something we've seen a little bit from Brian Armstrong, although a little less obvious, as here is Jesse's rhetoric. Jesse goes on, I thought we settled all their concerns for $30 million in February. Now they're back for seconds? He asks. You know, reacting to the news, obviously, that the SEC filed a complaint alleging that Kraken operates registered, blah, 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 blah. So it's good to see, you know, a swift and decisive reaction from Jesse, albeit funny. Let's just say it that. It's funny. It's a funny reaction from Jesse. I think it's the right tone. I think it really is the right tone, because it's kind of like, you know, this is making me mad, right? This is and he calls them a decelerant, right? Which I think is the right message, because America, you know, has a huge head start in a lot of ways industrially, right? But they are the United States. I'm not the first person, far from the first person to say that the United States is decelerating its innovation, its growth, and its appeal to the best and brightest to stay in the United States or even to move to the United States. Now, you have to say that there are still way more brilliant people coming to the United States and staying here than leaving. But Jesse's making a good point, is that if you want to work in Web3, or if Web3 and crypto are your primary, things that you interact with in life, America's not the place to be. The SEC has decelerated motivations for Americans to stay in America if they want to be involved in Web3 and crypto. So, now is the time to be vigilant. We're going to get to this in just a second, kind of my reaction. But there's one more story here. There's one more piece of the puzzle, more note of the symphony of FUD that we are being exposed to here. Ripple, XRP not named a security in the SEC's filing versus Kraken. So the SEC's action taken against Kraken, the SEC sues Kraken. We know this. XRP is excluded from the Kraken lawsuit. XRP's Ripple token was not listed in the SEC's lawsuit against Kraken, though its price saw a minor decline. Okay, so what could this mean? Honestly, to me, this is a subnote of the overall attack, but this is interesting, right? There is something here. We allege that Kraken made a business decision to reap hundreds of millions of dollars from investors rather than coming into compliance with the securities law. That decision resulted in a business model rife with conflicts of interest that place investors' funds at risk. Okay, that's the legal argument being levied by the SEC onto Kraken. But XRP is not listed in this legal assault, okay? But many other cryptos are. And as my partner Tim mentioned earlier, some of the big ones, Cardano and Solana, are listed as securities that Kraken has been trading. So, guys, why wait until now? If I'm the SEC, why not have done this at the very beginning of the year, right? Because that's Thanksgiving. I genuinely believe that's exactly what's going on here. Gary Gensler knows they're trying to FUD the market right now, right? So that when that moment, that opportunity for valuable transmission of ideas happens, right? The young people, the innovators, the risk takers are demotivated. They're feeling down. They're feeling despondent. They're feeling depressed. They're feeling unengaged because it feels like there's no hope. The SEC is just going to keep pounding and pounding and pounding away at this industry, and nothing's going to happen. Well, here is the upside. Here's what I think, guys. Here's a little bit of hope. Is that I think that we might be nearing the end of the SEC's rope here. I think that these type of desperate attempts to try to come against the crypto exchanges, I think that they're nearing their end. I think that this seems like it's not even creative, right? They're literally coming against Kraken, the same entity that they've went against in February. And if you kind of look at the rhetoric coming from Jesse, right, the CEO of Kraken, he doesn't really strike me as all that afraid. He's coming at them. He's coming back at them, right? He's not worried. So why should I be? He's the one that has way more to lose than I do, right? He could be potentially losing his entire company and going the way of SBF and FTX if these allegations are true. Now, I have no reason to believe that they're true because they're coming from an entity that I do not trust, the Securities and Exchange Commission. I at least don't trust them under Gary Gensler, right? But what do we notice about the price charts here? And what can we potentially predict? Bitcoin continuing to sell off here as it's moved a little bit lower here in this regression trend. What do we notice about these prices? Right. I'll cut to the chase here. They're lower. The prices are lower as a result of this FUD. Now, that shouldn't come as a surprise to you, but what does that mean? It means that Gary's getting what he wants. But guess what is not happening to the price charts? The dynamic reactor from Chart Prime is still 3% to the downside for Bitcoin. On the 4 hour, okay, there's still Really. Not many hands in the market. Even with all the noobs that have flooded in over the last 3 or 4 weeks, there's still a lot of diamond hands, guys. Still a lot of diamond hands. And it is, to me, a sign of strength, right? The Bitcoin is staying really above 35,000 with this type of FUD in the market. It's a 1-2 punch, guys. $4 billion payout from Binance. Looking like they're going to just do it, right? Criminal charges against CZ. Okay, and then today, the very next day, another lawsuit against Kraken for commingling assets, right? That was one of the main smoking guns over at FTX, right? That led to those guilty convictions. Is you can't commingle funds. You just can't do that. That is something that is not an innovation in crypto, right? That's not something that crypto unlocks the potential for that. No, that's illegal, right? It's illegal and it's immoral, it's unethical, and it doesn't work from an accounting standpoint, okay? It doesn't work for the client. It only works one way, and it works for the perpetrator, the criminal in that case. Okay. So the SEC is coming against Kraken for one of the worst things, one of the freshest wounds in crypto, at a time where, the younger and the older generations are about to come together, and the opportunity for orange pilling is about to happen. I think Gary knows exactly what he's doing, and the timing is very perfect. You have to give him his props for his strategizing, right? You have to give Gary his props for the execution of a very deeply cynical plan that Gary has, that he's maybe acting upon in principle, or more than likely he's being paid under the table to make these types of moves in the interests of the scores of people and institutions that have a lot to lose by crypto thriving. Let's go over to the chat and see what is being said. ADA said, "Yo, I made it." What up, ADAs? Good to see it in the chat. GM everyone said Red Elephant and Gia S in the chat saying, "Smash the like, everyone. Really love it." Randomness said, "This ish from the SEC is so darn annoying. I'm heated." Yes, that's what they want. And honestly, you have every right to be. Steve E. Shrum said, "Molly hates that little thing swinging legs. LOL." Yes, the old Factoid elf. This guy right here. There he is, right there. Yeah, I guess so. Steve E. Shrum is my dad, and the little Factoid, and Molly is his dog, and Molly apparently likes to bark at the Factoid elf. So, mixing in a little bit of lighthearted humor here. Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in here, guys. Ninja Glock said they want another 30 million. Stevo Shramoto, Sativio Samoto said, why? Yes. Ninja Glock said, "Gotta love Jesse Powell." Dustin Singer said, "GMT Shroom and the Bros." And Steve E. Shrum said, "Will it float?" ? That's a good question to ask here. Will crypto float? I mean, the prices seem to be indicating that they will float quite easily, right? As you can see here, yes, Bitcoin is corrected as a result of this news from the highs put in from the Argentina presidential election outcome, but we're only down not even 2%, really, candlestick to candlestick close. So it's, this is why I say that this is actually a moment to be very happy, right? Because the enemy is showing its cards. And the SEC isn't the enemy, right? But Gary Gensler certainly is, right? The executor of the SEC does seem to, he has positioned himself as the enemy of crypto, right? And he seems to be showing his cards here. And his cards are, he's trying to throw the kitchen sink at crypto right now by levying this $4 billion fine against Binance, criminal charges against CZ, and now another SEC lawsuit against Kraken for, again, a very specific claim that Kraken is doing the commingling of funds that brought FTX down. Right now, there's a slight chance that Kraken is doing that, but they've been through several bear markets, right? If they were going to do that, why would they do that now, right? Why would they wait? Why wouldn't the SEC have found out about that before, right? So I I don't really think that there's any validity to these claims. I think what's happening is exactly what I've laid out. And I think what you should do is realize that crypto is on discount. Gary has done you a favor. This is the way that traders think, right? This is the way that professional traders think. A regulator, look, think about it in black and white terms of just what it is. We remove our emotional attachments to crypto. I love crypto, right? But every once in a while, when you're thinking about it from a trading standpoint, from a game theory standpoint, you have to remove the emotional attachment, right? A regulator that has been pounding and pounding away in an industry has just levied yet again another blow, a 1-2 punch. And the timing is eerie. It's in the week leading up to Thanksgiving, right? This is a gift, right? Bitcoin could go lower from here. Bitcoin could go down and test 35 from here. It's not looking like that's going to happen. Maybe that's what happens, but judging by the rate of deceleration here in the price, I don't think it's going to go much further than 36.5, right? Go to my chart, show you kind of where that is, right? I think it needed to have sold off a lot faster than what we've seen in order for that to happen, for it to get down to 36.5, which is around right here in my blue line, right? Now it could, but it's got to come all the way down here to 36.1, 36.2, call it, in order to flip the trend assist red from green, right? So it's got a long way. Okay, that would be what, 2% move to the downside from where it is right now. So, Gary's getting what he wants. The price of Bitcoin is moving down, right? Whether or not this is going to last through to Thanksgiving, I'm not sure, right? It might, but it could also reject off the bottom line of this regression trend and make a move higher, right? I think I think you guys see kind of what I'm saying here. Trying to give you all hope, trying to show you the bright side, right? The silver lining, so to speak. Now you might be hearing and listening to this and saying, but T-Shroom, I can't keep participating in an industry that just keeps getting rocked by regulators. You don't know when it's the last blow, right? What is on the horizon? A freaking spot Bitcoin ETF is more than likely going to be launching by January 11 at the latest. Okay? It's going to be getting accepted, approved by the very entity that is trying so hard right now to bring crypto to its knees, but it can't. And it's honestly, it's sad at this point that the SEC can't just issue rules so that this industry can be compliant, so that the industry can be properly regulated, so that this industry's participants, you and me, retail investors and institutional investors, can be adequately protected from predators like FTX, from predators like all the millions of crypto scams that are out there, right? But they can't because there's no guidelines, there's no rules. Japan has passed rules. European Union has passed rules. The United Kingdom has passed rules. The United Arab Emirates has passed rules. But the United States, the most sophisticated regulatory government, hasn't been able to do it. Why? Because they don't want to. There's a perverse incentive. There are interest groups working behind the scenes, lining Gary's pockets for him to drag his feet and to go out kicking and screaming so that this industry has a chance to pivot. And I don't think it's working. I think that they thought they were going to be successful with this plan by having their guy in the SEC, but it's not looking good, right? It's kind of like the cigarettes. It's kind of like the cigarette companies with the vapes, right? They tried to get the regulators to ban the vapes, and eventually they had to say, well, we're just going to have to buy up our own vape companies and sell that because we can't afford, like, these kids, they're vaping. They're not going to smoke cigarettes, right? And the banks are having to do the same thing. The kids are into crypto. The kids don't want to buy our bonds. The kids don't want to hold our dollars because they understand inflation, right? The internet has effectively educated them, even though we've completely diluted the education system with this total dearth of financial literacy curriculum. these kids have actually figured out what inflation is, and they want to buy crypto because it's non-inflationary. They don't want to hold our dollars. But c'est la vie. We'll see what happens. It seems like the cream is rising to the crop. The cream is rising to the top. And Jesse he's not putting up with it, right? I really love the tone in this tweet. I think this says it all. This is a legitimate legal claim coming from a legitimate regulator of the United States. We're going to have to fight this, but we know we're going to win. It's going to be costly, so it's going to suck, right? But that's just what you have to do when you're one of the first movers in a Wild West industry. Jesse gets it, and his rhetoric there is right on point. And I hope that it's convincing to you to stay in crypto, even though at this moment, all the forces are coming against you to try to get you to FOMO out. If you've bought above 37,000 per Bitcoin, you do not want to sell now. If you're a noob in crypto, don't be the person who sells right now, right? Bitcoin is going to be going higher when the halving comes around next year in spring. Just hang on to your coins and do your best to orange pill this Thanksgiving. I'll be seeing you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard, just like every other day. Guys, it's 9:32, so I'm going to throw it over to Army Piper. Go and check out his channel at Piper Academy. He'll be going live here in moments. If he's not already live, he probably is, to be honest with you. But thank you so much for tuning in. I've been T Shroom, and I want to bring one last thing to your attention, which is our Discord. Okay? You can actually sign up for yes, we have a Discord. Investing Bros has a Discord? Yes, we do. The Investing Bros Discord, it's the link right here. There's Chart Prime's link, but the Discord link is actually right here, right under our Become a Member link, which is also a great link. But you have access to our free Discord here. You can go check it out with Investing Bros and be a part of the conversation that never ends. Yes, I'm about to end this video, about to end this live transmission, but the conversation never ends in the Discord. Join it now. That is the link in the description, is the way to join. You're going to love it. Thank you so much for joining. Obviously, leave a like on the way out. And if you've gotten some value from this video, consider subscribing. But don't give up the fight. Don't let Gary fudge you out of the market. I'll check you next time.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.